Egypt 2, Ghana 2. And what an amazing second half of football. I thought the first half was okay, but the second half was fantastic, man. All the goals, coming in a short burst in the second half, where Ghana went from 1-0 up to 1-1 to 2-1 up to 2-2. And now, having drawn this game against Egypt, they find themselves quite literally hanging onto a thread in Afcon right now. Their qualification to the next round is at serious risk, serious risk right now, guys. And look, for Ghana, look, their team that definitely should be qualifying. Look at the quality they have in that team, man. Like throughout, Mohamed Kudus, perfect example. This brother, in my opinion, is one of the best players Africa has got as a continent, bro. He is electric. He's proven it for West Ham United, and again today for the Black Stars, man. 2 fantastic goals. That's the title of this video. Kudus, great goals, man. Quite literally carrying Ghana through this competition right now. Where's the others to stand up as well, though? Because like I said, Ghana's got a decent football team, man. I don't think they're no scrubs, Ghana. They've got a very decent football team, but they're not showing it. Even last Afcon, they got knocked out very early as well. And this Afcon, look, Chris Hughton's their manager, man. The guy's an established guy. He's been around Premier League teams, etc. He's not getting the most out of this team. I look at Ghana today, man, controlling the game in the first half, go 1-0 up, thinking, yeah, good. Second half, it's like after going 1-0 up, they parked the bus. I couldn't believe it. They literally sat back and said, okay, we're not going to attack anymore, and let everyone else attack. I could not believe my own eyes. Like, genuinely, I've never seen it before. Second half, Ghana did not leave their box. It's like going 1-0 up was the game over for them. It's like it was golden goal. They need to go right at them in the second half, Egypt. Egypt grew into the game, to be fair to them. And look, I know both of Egypt's goals, you could say, come from some sort of mistake in ways. The first goal definitely for Egypt was a mistake, man. I mean, what are you doing passing back like that, bro? Like, I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't. Obviously, runs onto it and scores the goal. It's a tapping at the end of it. But that gives Egypt life. And then after that, you're looking at a big play to turn up for Ghana. It's exactly what happened. Mohamed Kudus right down the other end, gets the goal to make it 2-1, basically corrects the mistake from the defense. Then you're back onto it again. You're thinking, right, 2-1 up, 15 minutes to go. Let's hold on. And then again, Egypt managed to score. And look, Trezeguet came on and changed the game in my eyes. Changed the game. Subbed off and then he bought on Trezeguet. The whole game flipped. The dimension of the game. He's a real attacking, like forward-thinking player that penetrates the defense for Egypt. And look, Egypt now in actually an okay position because they've drawn both games, so they're on 2 points. But because Ghana have obviously lost their first game and drawn today, I'm not sure what's really going to happen with Cape Verde, to be honest. But for the most part, they're okay, I think. Egypt, I think if they win their next game, they're through. Basically, Ghana, on the other hand, my days of Ghana are in trouble. They're in big trouble, Ghana, because 1 point now from 2 games. You need to win your next game, and even then it could not be enough, to be honest. So you really got to look here right now, guys, and think, oh, Ghana are in big trouble, big trouble. And it needs to change because it's not good enough. Look at the quality that team's got, man. Like I said before, it's got real quality in that team. They should not be struggling to get through the next stages. I don't get it. Like, genuinely should not, man. They should not be struggling to get through the Afcon group stage. I mean, look at them. Right? When I look at the established teams in the Africa Cup of Nations, right? I look at Morocco, really good chance of winning it. I look at Senegal, really good chance of winning it. Then I'm looking at the teams underneath, like the Egypts, the what's it called, the Algerians potentially. You're looking at Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, countries like that are established in this tournament, man. But they're not really proven. I mean, I watched earlier today Ivory Coast versus Nigeria. Nigeria won that game 1-0, but neither team really impressed me to the extent that Morocco did in their first game. Do you get what I mean? So, or even Senegal. So I'm looking at it and still thinking that I want some of these teams to really turn up in the big moments. That's really my thoughts behind it. Like I said, look, 2-2, it was a great game, especially in the second half, but neither team really proved enough to me that they're going to go all the way. Like even Egypt. Yes, they came back into the game. I thought they were really good in that second half. Egypt, really good, especially given that they controlled that football match in the second half, missing their best player, Mohamed Salah, by the way, who came off injured. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in time for the third group game, but they really impressed me in that second half. But in that first half, they didn't really have any clue what they were doing. Egypt, man, they were running in circles. But then in the second half, Ghana went 1-0 up, and then they sort of just sat back and parked the bus. So both teams showed fragility today, to be honest with you guys. And look, it's obviously not ideal going forward because, like I always say, right, knockout football is where it really matters when it comes to any sort of tournament, whether it's Champions League, World Cup, Euros, or of course AFCON here today. But at the same point, you got to get to the knockout stages. Like, look at Morocco in the World Cup, right? If I asked anyone, where do you think Morocco is going in the World Cup before the tournament? Many thought they were going to get knocked out in the group stage, myself included. They make it through the group stage, then suddenly they win the round of 16, they win the quarterfinals, and suddenly they're in a World Cup semi-final. Do you get what I mean? So if you make it through to knockout rounds, anything can happen at that stage. You just got to get through to knockout rounds because then it's one-off football, 90 minutes, one and done. Who knows what can happen? You can get a fluky goal like like Egypt got today. Fluky goal, that first goal, man. It was a terrible back pass. So anything can happen when you get to that stage. But overall, neither of these teams really impressed me to the extent where I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, these lot could really challenge Senegal or Morocco to win the Afcon this tournament. To be honest with you guys, that's just my genuine opinion on it. Like, a lot can change, obviously. Like, it's still very early days in Afcon. Only 2 games been played, but by the second or third game, you got a real good understanding of what every team is about. Like, that's when you really get to see what the tactics are about, the personnel, who's really turning up for each team. And I don't think I've seen enough quality thus far to really say that I think, I think this team can go on to win it. Do you get what I mean? That's just my personal opinion on it. But look, like I said, it was two games I watched there. I watched the Nigeria game against Ivory Coast. I watched the game today between Ghana and Egypt. Both really enjoyable games of football, especially this one right now. I thought it was a very enjoyable game, to be honest with you guys. Especially that second half, back and throw football. Mate, stop watching Afcon, watch Real Madrid versus Atletico. Bro, Afcon's vibes, man. Mate, I saw it in Tottenham versus Man City again in Spurs, and explain yourself. Nah, ain't me, bro, ain't me. I've been to Tottenham's ground, though, to be honest. I've been to Spurs' ground. It's a beautiful stadium. I can't even lie. Even as an Arsenal fan, I'm going to say it. But yeah, guys, who do you think's winning Afcon? If I had to guess right now, I say Senegal or Morocco. One of the two. I'm gonna edge Senegal a little bit. I know they won it last time, but I'm just gonna edge Senegal to win it again. Morocco, I think, obviously should be everyone's favourites given how far they went in the World Cup. But that could be a World Cup for Ghazi, man. Like, we've seen things happen. I've seen my country, Turkey, make the semi-finals of a World Cup. Not when I was really remembering it, because it was 2002. But still, anything can happen in the World Cup, man. You get those fluke teams every now and then. But I think it's going to be a brilliant tournament, especially in knockout rounds. I think that's where it's going to get really, really interesting for Afcon. But if I look at the game like here today, man, you saw 2 teams going for it, bro. Absolutely going for it. Look, to be fair to Egypt, man, you lost your best player and you still were turning up, man. So you got to give them a heap of credit. And if I show you guys the match stats for this game, to be honest with you lot, yeah, many will say Egypt probably deserved the victory. And if it wasn't for Mohamed Kudus turning up big time, maybe they would have won the game. Now look at the stats right now. Egypt, 13 shots they've got? 11 shots, 5 on target. Ghana, only 6 shots, 3 on target. 58% of the ball for Egypt. So stats-wise, you probably sit there and go, yeah, Egypt probably edged this game out. But when you reflect on how the game played and you see the chances both teams had, Ghana were having chance on the counter-attack, and they were looking good. Like, Semenyo was looking dangerous on the counter-attack. And, of course, Mohamed Kudus is one of the most electric players that Africa's got as a nation, as a continent, sorry. Superb, man. Absolutely superb footballer. And you saw that first goal from Kudus today, man. Like, that is elite level stuff. He's barely got a centimeter of space. And on his left foot to just dig that shot out of nowhere, straight into the corner, past the goalkeeper like this in a flash. Brilliant finish by Mohamed Kudus, man. And he's been tearing up the Premier League with West Ham United. And again, for Ghana, the Black Stars today, he was superb, man. Absolutely superb. And on the flip side for Egypt, right? Your best player goes down injured, Mohamed Salah. Not sure what's happening really with him. I don't know if he's going to come back in time for their next game or not. Genuinely not sure right now. But you had players that turn up. Like I said, I thought Trezeguet off the bench was superb for Egypt. He turned the game around. Genuinely turned the game around. And the brother that scored the first goal for Egypt, I thought he was good as well. Mamouche, I thought he was really good as well. Really dangerous. Scored a goal that was offside. So, yeah, I thought Egypt grew into the game, grew into the tournament overall. And if we look at the table overall, like, guys, yeah, let me show you the table right now. Because it's a very interesting group given the table. Look at it. So Cape Verde sit on 3 points. They're playing tomorrow, obviously, against Mozambique, I believe. You then got Egypt on 2 points and Ghana on 1 point. So right now, to be honest with you guys, yeah, anyone can win it. If Cape Verde win their game tomorrow, they're safe. 100% they finish top of the group, which is superb for them, by the way. Then Ghana are in trouble. Because they need, if Egypt then beat, if Cape Verde beat Egypt, they're 100% through. But then it gives Ghana an opportunity to leapfrog Egypt. If Egypt win, that means Ghana can leapfrog Cape Verde. Do you get what I mean? So Ghana is still in it. They just have to win their next game. If they win their next game, they're through. But it's whether they do win their next game. That's the real question mark for me. Because have I seen enough quality from Ghana to win their next game? That's what I'm really debating right now. Because yes, they've been a good team, Ghana, but have they shown enough like real cutthroat quality there? Like, they made a few silly mistakes in the game today. But then if we look at the whole of Afcon overall, like, if we look at all the tables, for example, we can go through and see each team, right? So you've got Group A, obviously, that was played earlier today as well. Every team's played 2 games there. Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Equatorial Guinea, they're all up for grabs right now. Anyone out of them can make it through. You got, obviously, this group here we just talked about. Cape Verde, if they win tomorrow, they're in pole position. Pole position for an absolute fact. That means if Egypt beat them the game after, Ghana have got no chance of going through. They're going to have to play the playoffs. Then you've got Senegal. Obviously, Senegal will get through. I've got a lot of faith in Senegal making it far. Algeria really disappointed me, to be honest with you guys. I thought Algeria would do much better. You got Tunisia, Mali. I thought they would do much better, to be honest with you guys. And then Morocco, obviously, going to go very far in this competition, I believe, as well. But look, this is the state of play right now, guys. Yeah, Cape Verde against Mozambique tomorrow. Big game, big game, especially for Egypt and Ghana to see what happens there. Senegal, Cameroon, equally a very big game as well. But let's see how it progresses, man. Like I said, when it gets to knockout rounds, that's for me when it really matters, man. The round of 16, that's what I really want to see. Okay, yeah, this is a quality we're talking about. What is each team about? That's what I really want to see. You should go bold now, mate. No chance. But that's when I'm really going to see the quality of each team. You get what I mean, guys? Because right now, yeah, certain teams look good and certain teams look average. That's just how it is right now. Like, first game Morocco played, they looked really good. They looked like they were in the flow of things already. Everyone was clicking. Players were looking like they were on job. Then other teams, they're taking a few games to really get into the flow of things. Look, it happens, man. Argentina won the World Cup, losing their first game to Saudi Arabia. It happens. It happens. Not every team's going to hit the ground running, especially when it comes to tournament football. But at the same time, it's not really forgiving. Like, you can't exactly take your time to get into the flow of things. It's a cutthroat business. You lose your first 2 games, you're at the tournament. Ghana right now, they're sitting on 1 point after 2 games. They are this close to get knocked out the tournament. Genuinely. They lose their next game or draw their next game, they ain't making it out off the plane. Like, they're flying straight back home from Ivory Coast. Like, they're not staying around here if they lose their next game. So, and that's poor from Ghana, man. Like, they should be going further in this competition than they currently are doing so, to be honest with you guys. But look, like I said, it can all change around. Overall, an enjoyable day of Afcon, no, to be honest with you guys. Watched the first game between Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Nigeria won 1-0. A cagey game, to be honest, and not a game of many chances, but Nigeria took theirs with the penalty that Osimhen won, who I thought actually was a threat the whole game. And then again today in today's game, I thought the first half was a little bit slow, and out of nowhere, bolt out of the blue, Kudus made it 1-0 to Ghana. Then in the second half, Ghana just kind of sat back and let Egypt take over, and Egypt scored a couple goals from obviously a few mistakes, and then obviously Kudus scored again for Ghana to put them 2-1 back up before Egypt tied it up. But yeah, fascinating game of football overall, entertaining as it always is with Afcon, man. That's one thing you'll never lack, entertainment. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of it going forward. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that tuned to the stream today. As always, if you do enjoy football-related content on the channel, this is the place to be. Make sure you do subscribe down below. My road to 6,000 subscribers. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I hope to catch you guys all in